Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan. And imagine a box, and you live in this box, but your parents aren't home, so they give you a key, and you enter the box, but you're 10 and you don't know how to cook. This is the Latchkey Kid. Da, 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 da. I'm Atlas Novak. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, and I am the epitome of a latchkey kid. Good morning, Jim. How are you, sir? Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing is that from I don't know how long you were a latchkey kid, but at around probably around 8 or 9 years old, my mom started staying at home regularly.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, around there, like probably around the 90s. So it was like up until the age of 10, it was like, who knows what's going to happen. But then after that, it was a lot easier. So like, yeah, it's how because both your parents worked, right?
So my mom wasn't working for like the early part of my childhood up until the divorce, and then she started working again.
Yeah.
Just for people who are like, what is the okay? So it's for when you're a child and you are given a key to your home.
No.
You have an hour to multiple hours before your parents or older siblings come home who know how to turn on the stove without destroying the house. How do you make a snack for yourself when you're like 9 and you don't know how any of this stuff works? So that's what we're doing. It's kind of like a sequel to like the Snacks of Our Childhood episode.
Yeah.
I should really make a playlist for these.
Yeah. Well,
because like we have one for the Aspen Chronicles with my dad. I should make the ones for Alma Marfo and the book ones.
Definitely.
Yeah. We'll do that along with this being like a snack one. So yeah, the snacks of latchkey kids, meaning the crazy shit you would cook up when you're by yourself at 9 years old.
Yeah.
In the house.
Like, see, the funny thing is that like there was always like I'll be honest with you, there were times that it wasn't even my house that I was at, and we had to figure out somehow making snacks because this was the thing was that I would come home, my mom's there, right? So it's like I'm not bringing people over because my mom will be friendly, and I'm like I don't need any of that in my life. That's not,
right.
We would. Every once in a while, I would be like sick from school, and my older brother would like come home with friends for lunch. So I would get to know them, which actually panned out really well because I was 2 years younger. So when I went to high school, I was in grade 9 and knew like a shit ton of people, and people were like, "What the? Like, how do you know all these people?" I'm like, they've been to my house. It's not, My mom was 11 till 7, so she would be there, but sleeping when we got home from school.
Oh, no.
Also an issue because you can't do anything.
So like you're a latchkey kid, and it's like in the cartoons where you gotta
just
sneak.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. And then heaven forbid anything fall. Like you grab a cup and it slips out of your hand, and it is suddenly the loudest cup in the universe. And just like boom, boom, and you're like, I'm dead. They're gonna wake up.
Or even worse, glass shattering. That's like they're downstairs in a second.
Oh, glass shattering. And the worst part is like I feel like the whole theory behind Latchkey Kids was you're like, okay, what can I do that I can, number one, get away with that no one will ever know. Number two, that if it goes south, I'm gonna be okay. Like, so like there's stories of I don't know if we talked about this, was like Forbidden Toys was last week, right? Like Play-Doh, because I had 3 older siblings that were like 10 years older than me, right? So my parent, like one of my oldest brother, he actually lit my parents' apartment on fire with a sparkler in the bathroom.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
1, how did he get a sparkler? 2, how did he get all the way to the bathroom with a sparkler? 3, how did he get some kind of fire there? And 4, what flammable things are in the bathroom? For towels?
I have no idea. This is the weird thing is I've asked my parent, I asked my dad a few times. He's like, why do you know this? It's not of your business. And I'm like, okay. And I would ask my mom. My mom's like, just do as I tell you. And you're like, oh, okay. And like I've asked Mike, hey mom, can you tell me your guy's story? She's like, I'll never tell you anything. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's thank you for nothing. That's horrible.
Yep.
Jim, okay, number one, Vlix, why are you a weirdo? I don't. Hi, hello, how are you? Yeah, she was a deputy sheriff. I accidentally shot a gun in the roof one. I
We
mean,
have to bring Jim back.
peak Americana. Like that's
Yeah.
you know, like so. Parents were in law enforcement. I blew a hole in the roof. You're like, yeah, that seems totally fair. That's a reasonable thing. But yeah, no, it was like I remember once hearing a story about friends that had one of the friends I grew up with, we would go to his house and get high occasionally. And it was funny because I knew all the rock-ons, like the heavy metal guys, but I was just like a casual dude. Like I was just, and we would go there. And I remember we went and I was like, do you guys got anything to eat? And he's like, no. And one guy was like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, what? He's like, peanut butter and bread. And I'm like, you can't have peanut butter and bread after getting high. You'll die. And he's like, we did. We almost died. It was horrible. It's
why? Because no
you get you get so pasty and you're like there's no jam to lubricate the bite, and then on top of that you got all pasty mouth from being high. It's not. It is a recipe for disaster. Yeah, and you've only lived. I think this was peak 80s and 90s was like when somebody almost choked and died, and you're like, and then nobody did, and you're like, all right, everybody, don't do that again. That's dangerous. Don't
Yeah. So I guess a good place to start before we get into the snacks proper, is to tell a little bit about our situation of like what being a latchkey kid entailed. Because for one, the age you're at means that you have either better like cognitive skills or, more importantly, the ability to reach things.
Also fair.
Fine motor skills, stuff like that. So the age at which you're doing this is important. The number of siblings you have, the thing with your brother coming home for lunch, that might be an important thing.
Yeah.
Like what kind of situation are we working with before we get into the snacks proper of latchkey kidness? So I guess like I'll go first. So example. Yeah, my mom was a stay-at-home mom between birth and age 10.
Right.
When she and my dad were together. Then they divorced and they went to their own, got their own places. So I had two different situations of latchkey kiddom, which one was definitely worse than the other. So in my dad's case, it was like you would take the bus and then either I would have to wait at the bus stop for him to come pick me up because you can't walk from Sunset Boulevard up through Laurel Canyon. It's just not possible. Like walking is just not an option in the canyon.
Fair. Good morning, Victoria.
So it was just waiting, and either that or after a while he hired like a driver service to pick me and my sister up.
Which is like good, but also like you should be happy you weren't kidnapped. Like that's
that's like 10 feet, right? That guy was probably getting paid out the nose because it was like a nice car. Sure.
And Uber didn't exist yet. It was
Uber didn't exist yet. Uber comes out like when I'm in like early college for because that's like what 2014, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I use it now.
Fair enough.
Same. Stay home or drive. Those are my options.
Stay home, drive, walk, take train.
I take transit every once in a while, but like even then, I'm like that's because shenanigans are ensuing.
That works in the Russian accent too. Stay home, walk, drive, take train.
These are options. Otherwise, do nothing.
So that's the show. That's the entire show. So we would get driven up there, and then like the guy would just leave again. So you let yourself in the house.
Yeah.
And my dad, being a dad, was not a very like, how there's the stereotype of like dad's house, mom's house, and dad's house
100%.
is depressing.
Yes.
Yeah, where I ate a lot of matzah. Like my dad he would get boxes of matzah of varying flavors. Like some were unsalted, some were salted, some was like the egg and onion one.
That doesn't seem like those are like old people snacks. Those aren't
because he's an old person. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, no, that's basically it.
Yeah, so if I'm like 10, 11, 12, 13 while this is going on, he's in his 50s while that's happening. So yeah,
he's fully an old person.
Yeah, that stands.
Yeah.
So you'd be doing that. He kept a lot of soda around. So I was very much a soda drinker, which is not good. I probably won't keep regular soda in the house when I have kids.
That's fair.
It's an outside thing. Popsicles in the summer, we were the like second fridge in the garage house. He was one of those people. And then a lot of it involved cooking. And when you're 10 and like, you had online recipes by this point, but I'm 10 and I'm just like, I just figured out how to use a semicolon barely. So it was a lot of like really depressing at home snacks, which was just like matzah. Or if I was feeling fancy, put mozzarella cheese on the matzah, put that in the microwave. Yeah. It was like matzah grilled cheese. This is long before air fryers are a thing. Frozen chicken nuggets. That was a thing. What I really wanted to get into was my mom's house, because my mom, that latchkey kidness was different, where I, for the most part, was entrusted to get myself to school, to and from, which at my first high school, I could just bike there.
Yeah.
I would either bike or take the bus. I would only get driven if I was late, and then my mom would be mad.
That's fair.
Yeah. And at my second school, it was further away, so I had to take the bus no matter what. But I had to take the bus. And then the bus stop was like 6 blocks from my house. So much easier in Santa Monica, which is still kind of hilly, but it's walkable. There are sidewalks that you can.
Jim says my mom would take us through McDonald's drive-through in a patrol car. Your mom sounds awesome. She's
like, the Szechuan sauce. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, she's like, she just leave her gun belt hanging on a chair. She's just like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. What's up, my dudes? Will, how are you? Yeah. See, here's the question. So was your mom, because your mom is a healthy lady.
Yeah.
Right.
She was very, very like NPR hippie, granola, organic Whole Foods type of person.
But how were the snacks? That's the real question. Thanks, Will. We appreciate it.
God awful. My mom was like, no like chips, no, like if we're doing chips, it's the like Whole Foods chips, which are garbage at the time. They're
like
better.
Like vegetable chips, or like
veggie straws. Ugh,
yeah. That's which to be clear, veggie straws and veggie chips not healthier than potato chips. Just to be clear, it's the problem with potato chips is the amount of fat and salt. Aside from that, potatoes are good for you. I feel like every time someone's like, potatoes are bad for you. No, potato chips are bad for you because they have a ton of garbage on them. That's not the thing.
But potatoes are the reason that the Russian Empire extend to the extent that it already got to was because of the potato from South America.
I mean, I'm not in a sauna. I'm just in an old school,
It's the 80s, baby.
This is proper 80s walling. Thank you very much.
Yes, because everybody was smoking.
That's right. I'm a veggie straw defender. I mean, you'll go down with that ship. Okay. You'll go down with that ship. It's not
the way my mom would look at health was protein higher good, sugar higher bad. So in her head, highest protein, lowest sugar is the like that's how she views like snack food. Yeah. So snack foods for the most part were just not a thing in the house. What she did have a lot of was produce. My mom went fucking ape shit on like bananas and berries and stuff like that. So I would just be like walking around in my underwear with a handful of raspberries, just like fucking.
Which is like, let's be honest, that is a very good way to snack on like
Yeah,
fruits
totally.
and veggies and stuff like that. Like that is your mom was doing her best with trying not to ruin your whole existence, right? Like that's
Yes. But my rebellion of that was because I had soda at my dad's house. It was like
yeah,
this fucking
100%.
yeah.
That's I
Um,
also too like my parents would we were well, here's a question. When you guys would go to a restaurant, were you allowed to order soda?
no. You could do
Neither was I.
sparkling water, no soda.
Sparkling water, really? Oh, that no. My parents were like, you need water. And as like a rebellion, I'd be like, I don't know, Diet Coke. And my parents like, and I'm like, I'm the baby. I live in Alabama. That's awesome, Will. How's Alabama? Is it how humid is Alabama? Because I've heard it is
Oh
quite
yeah, it's probably
disturbing.
like bonkers right
Yeah.
now.
Silence says bit gay. I'm Greek. That's fair. And he lives in LA. So I mean a little bit, but you know, it's fine.
Everybody's a little bit gay.
Everyone's a little bit gay.
Yeah.
I will go down with the veggie straw ship saluting. Sometimes you want to change from the taste of potatoes. I don't disagree with you. My thing is that like I've been just, I know as a little sidetrack for everyone, I've been considering this because I'm like, I love like a good meatloaf or sausage and stuff. And the problem is it's got a lot of filler with breadcrumbs, and bread in North America sucks. So I've been thinking about dehydrating vegetables and using those as the powder inside thing, but you know, something I'm experimenting with.
Soda because fish pee in water. Isn't that like a thing from Archer? Like I don't drink water, fish fuck in it or something.
It's not in Archer. It was from who's the guy in Casablanca?
Oh, Louis, right? The
actor. Right? The actor.
Oh, not Jimmy.
Humphrey Bogart? Is that
Humphrey Bogart? Yeah. Thank you.
So Humphrey Bogart, I believe it was on that set where everyone was drinking water, everyone got the runs, and he was only drinking whiskey the entire time. And it was him who was like, they're like, oh, would you like some water? He's like, no, fish fucking it. I'm not drinking water. Like, that's disgusting. And you're like, I
can't believe that's real from somewhere. That's
a real thing. And then he was the only one that didn't get the shits. So
yeah,
the friendliest people in the planet in Alabama. I mean, I've never been. I can't testify to that. But also, I'm Greek. In Greece, they are very friendly, very nice, very kind people. I think they're friendly people everywhere. That's
so. Yeah, a lot of the like easy snackables were just like produce, basically. What people are really here for are like, what are the crazy shit that you made up?
Yes,
with the ingredients available. This turned out to be something that I did with Katie when she was gluten-free for a little bit. Tortilla pizza. So you get a tortilla, sauce, cheese.
Yeah.
My mom had a toaster oven, so I did it in the toaster oven, but microwave works too.
Yeah.
And then just eat it like a pizza.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. And also gluten-free, apparently, because you can do that with like gluten-free tortillas.
Yeah, well, you know what? We didn't have good access to tortillas, so it was always just a slice of. So we did similar, where it was tomato sauce, a slice of Kraft cheese, and then we would cut up hot dogs and put them on top too. So it was
never did that. That's a good idea.
It was it's basically a pizza. We're very fancy. It wasn't,
because my mom didn't keep hot dogs, chicken and fish only. And turkey bacon.
Turkey bacon. That's not even.
I unfortunately have like not an addiction, but just like I have a taste for turkey bacon now because that's what we had in the house at my mom's place.
You just haven't eaten enough bacon. That's really
well. I still do enjoy bacon. I'm not like ew bacon, but it's just like I like turkey bacon too. You can also, if you're doing the tortilla pizza, roll it up into like a 10-year-old stromboli.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The hard part is make sure you fold the bottom so it doesn't all go squirting out as soon as you bite onto it. That's the key, because you make that mistake once and you're like, I didn't even have a plate, because you're walking around and now you have to clean the floor and I'll tell you,
we had a dog, luckily, so I was just like, fucking go over there, clean up after me.
For me, the problem was that I was notorious for just using my sock and just. But the problem is you can't do that with tomato sauce because then you leave tomato footprints throughout the entire house, and that will get you in more trouble than messing up thing.
And you said you had like carpets, right?
Not growing up, yeah, but that was like, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember snacking on anything other than cookies in my early life, like early. But then we moved, and then it all had like flooring and everything, and the kitchen was all tile and stuff, so it was fine. But yeah.
When my parents split up, my dad's place is like, I don't know what to call it. It's some kind of stone. It looks like where it's supposed to look like tile, but it feels like stone. Like there's like a roughness to it.
Yeah.
And then my mom's first place was all hardwood. And then when she moved to her second place, I was like 16, so this doesn't apply anymore. Every time you made a tortilla pizza, half Italian, half Mexican person spontaneously combusted. Here's the thing. When you live in California, there are tortillas fucking everywhere. We always had tortillas in the drawer for white people taco night, TM. So
no salsa, just ketchup.
No, we did salsa. Like, again, this is California, so it's not like if you're in the Midwest, that might be a thing, but in like SoCal specifically, like there are street vendors with tacos. Like even in like a bougie ass place like Santa Monica, you had street vendors selling tacos, and they're really good. Turkeys would prefer you eat pork bacon. I'm sure they would.
That's 100%. Also, just a random question here from Roddy St. James. What is your favorite DreamWorks movie?
Favorite DreamWorks movie? Okay. I was 7 when the first Shrek came out. I loved it even before all the internet memes, right? Like, even all of the, like, some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. You're a monster. Like, all of it is still stuck in my brain 25 plus years later.
I mean, I'm just realizing I just pulled up a list of it, and Tropic Thunder is a DreamWorks.
That's DreamWorks,
movie, so, as well as Old School. So I'm like, oh yeah, those are the tops.
Films. Hang on, I might have to change my answer
because like come on. Also, hey Victoria, counterpoint. I'm California born and raised. You still committed sacrilege. He is too. I'm the foreigner. So
yeah, he's Canadian. We're both CA. Just it means something different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's see that's the thing is like another thing. Like it was still. Like I remember I would still snack all the time because I was just a big kid, right? Like I'm 6'2" and growing up I was fat. I'm still fat, but less fat, which is good. But like one other thing, and this is something that like we would always have, I would have cereal before I went to bed, which is horribly bad for you. But we would do that. I would also like take a handful. Yeah, I would take a handful of cereal and just like eat that sometimes.
I still do that. From time to time.
We don't buy cereal, but Victoria has like a fancy Japanese cereal that's really, really healthy for you. It's got a lot of protein and stuff. And it's super good. And I'm just like, and she gets mad because the problem is there's this thing in our house, right? Where there's two of everything because half of it is made for somebody my size and the other half is made for somebody Victoria's size, right? So like she has a bunch of ladders, none of them I can use. Not one. Just not one. But at the same time, I can just touch the ceiling with my hand. So you're like, eh. So
I have the suit from Ant-Man, so I can fit into the smaller places.
I mean, it'd be helpful. But yeah.
The what's it called? Cereal is a great thing to bring up. That is a key latchkey kid snack where, again, going back to Health Nut Mom, we had like Honey Bunches of Oats and Cheerios.
Hey, Honey Bunches of Oats is a great cereal, and I feel like not enough kids are opened to like they're brainwashed by the toys, which also cereal doesn't have good toys. Have you seen that cereal does not have good toys anymore? Like they suck toys. Like garbage
it's
toys.
Not even toys anymore. It's like here's a word search on the back. Go fuck yourself. That's
the treat of the week that you get for free. I want a good prize in my cereal if I'm gonna spend money and get all sugar high and have to deal with kids. They're gonna get a wicked toy. Like we would also like because the toy is always this is the weird thing is most toys were actually in the cereal, not in the box outside of the bag.
Yes,
So,
I don't
so
know where
you would
pour it out and it would go into the bowl, right?
so we had all our own little techniques where you would like open the bag and then you try and like shimmy it to try and get the toy out, but every time cereal would spill, be like, I'll eat it, don't worry, it's fine, it's fine. It's always a mess.
I'm running out of room in this bowl. Are you gonna pour milk in? Not anymore. Gotta make sure I get the toy.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'd let you make me a tortilla pizza. I mean, like, if somebody offers you a tortilla pizza, even a bad one, like the ones I made were with Kraft singles. They're not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people still be like, I'm like, hey, I make little pizza things? And they're like, yeah, I want one. Cool. I just made like 4 because I would fit 4 in the tray, so the ends would be a little bit bent because it wouldn't fit properly.
Nice. Yeah.
Top tier stuff.
Yeah. Nuke and MGT, are you in NorCal or SoCal? You don't have to say the specific town, but just like, is it Safeways or Aldi's? Which
Safeway. that is a fantastic way. That is fantastic way.
Between NorCal and SoCal. If it's Safeway, you're in NorCal. If it's Aldi's, it's SoCal.
Hold on. Don't call yourself fat. You're not fat. The world is. I mean, no, I'm still fat, but like I'm in the best shape of my life. But we've
been over this.
Yeah, I used to be over 500 pounds, and now I'm very sundress worthy, like 290 something. So yeah, I look great.
I need to see him in a sundress. Victoria, make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like. I've already told Victoria, I'm like, if I can get like I'm working on getting abs. Like that's my whole goal. And I have like 4 right now and I have obliques going and stuff, but I'm like, I still have a gut. So, but like, if I get that, I'm like, I'm walking around in a slingshot, like the Borat slingshot.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All year round. And I'm like, yeah, it could be winter. And I'm still like, look at my abs, everybody. That's going to happen.
Born in Safeways, live so far north that it's almost Oregon now, which means above Sacramento. Got it. So like people underestimate the difference between NorCal and SoCal, like culturally. But we can do that another time. But cereal. So Katie, she has this snack that she makes for herself that's like her grandma would make it, and she calls it Chex Mix, like custom made Chex Mix, where it's the rice Chex and the Cheerios and the pretzels and like onion powder or something like that. It's like a savory Chex Mix. It's not really my thing, but she likes it a lot. And I know how to make it for her. But that means that we have a lot of Cheerios, Chex Mix, all that stuff lying around. And I love Chex, like as a cereal. I'll just be like, late at night before I go to bed, take a big handful, walk around the apartment while I'm like turning off the lights and stuff.
You know what I used to love was Shreddies, and then we'd put some honey on top. And I'm like, you don't know what Shreddies? Oh, are Shreddies Canadian? Oh man,
maybe. Let's see. Shreddies. Okay.
So it's you know what shredded wheat is?
Canada, the UK, and Ireland. So no, it's not in the US.
So do you know what shredded wheat is? Mini wheats?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so mini wheats, but flat. And they're fantastic. They're super good.
They look nice based on the picture. I did like there were a couple of times where I got my mom to buy frosted mini wheats, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Frosted mini wheats are basically the devil. My brother would like cinnamon toast crunch, and my parents would bought it like they bought it a couple times, and then they're like, no, this is dog shit for you. And you're like, it's 100% dog shit for you.
Yeah, it totally is dog shit.
I'm so far north that I call Sacramento the Bay Central.
There you go. Yeah, that's
peanut butter basically. I am
never did.
Well, this is the thing is like because we didn't have good access to tortillas up here in Canada up until like 10 years ago. So it was like if we bought tortillas, like it was a whole thing, and it was like, it's a pain in the ass. Like at best you could get like Old El Paso, like Taco Tuesday tacos, which sucked. But
okay, so there's a YouTube channel I like called Lou Burger, and they have a song called White People Taco Night.
I know
Yeah.
Lou Burger. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Habsburg face.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're discussing Latchkey Kid snacks. So if you want to chime in, JD Bailey, we would appreciate it greatly.
Some people in the comments have done it already, but if you haven't, what was your either
Go-to
shittily
snack.
thrown together or you're 8 and you don't know what you're doing snack that you would make for yourself as you came home from school before parents got home?
So just on a side note of cereal was if we didn't have the fixings for a pizza, another thing we would do is take a slice of bread and sprinkle Nesquik powder over it, and then sprinkle it with water, and essentially became like a chocolatey paste type thing. Most often you would put too much water and be like, fuck, and then it was just like gross, but it was still chocolate and you would eat it.
So which means that if you underwater it, you get like, you bite into it and it's like a like.
Correct. That's 100%. Yeah. That was yeah. Like also I would eat like a spoonful, like, okay, people are like, oh, a spoon of peanut butter, and they'll use like a teaspoon and grab like a very normal amount of peanut butter and then spread it very thin. If I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you could close it and it was already oozing. Like just the weight of bread would already cause it to be oozing. So like we would I would use like a tablespoon, the big ass spoon, and I would be like, and it would be like 3 inches tall, and I'd be like, and just eat it, which is, I don't think is good for you, but hits the spot. I'll tell you that.
Peanut butter, I've never seen like people be like, that's too much peanut butter, because peanut butter, the way it is, it's not a very like bingeable snack. There's something that keeps you off of it after a while, like not even counting the like, oh, I'm allergic to peanut butter, like just there's just something that keeps you from eating too much. I still remember this 20 something years later. In second grade, we had to do an assignment where it was like descriptive writing, and you had to write how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to the teacher. And she's like, I will follow your instructions exactly. So if you say, put the peanut butter on the jelly, I'm going to pick up the jar and put it there. You have to be very exact. Because like we had read Amelia Bedelia by this point. So so she was like, okay, like I just remember doing it well. And I was like, what if I don't like peanut butter? Because I didn't at this point. And she's like, you're not eating the sandwich. Just it's instructions on like how to do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, pick up the knife, put it in the jar, take a little bit out, spread a very thin layer of peanut butter, and then get the good jelly and like all that stuff. But like,
I saw a TikTok where a guy was doing the kind of the same thing, like instructions to make a peanut butter sandwich, and it was like, put the knife in the peanut butter. So he took the handle of the knife and threw it in the peanut butter, and the kid had like anxiety or autism or some other fucking thing, and like as soon as it happened, the kid's like, that's not how it works, and he was sending it like, what's the problem? What do you mean? He said, put the knife in the thing. I put the knife, and he's like, it's not the right way, like just immediately freaking. It was very entertaining for somebody who's not that anxious.
It's a good assignment. I think like if I ever taught elementary school, I would totally do that.
Yeah
It's a really good assignment. Fun fact, Doritos were invented at Disneyland when a Mexican restaurant was throwing out the old tortillas, and the tortilla vendor was upset about the waste of food. Neat.
I mean, that guy's a hero.
Where did they come up with the idea for Cool Ranch, which is one of humanity's greatest inventions? I'm still mad that Taco Bell got rid of the Cool Ranch Dorito taco. All they have left is the nacho cheese one. Now
the nacho cheese one does not hit like the Cool Ranch. Like I think
Cool
Ranch is exactly that. Like you eat Cool Ranch and you're like, it's like ranch but cool. Like it's the weirdest. And you know how much people got mad at me when I'm like, oh, make sure you get some Cool Ranch, and they're like, ew. And I'm like, it's delicious. If you don't like it, you're the problem. Like it's not.
Yeah. In my dad's case, where we could kind of like put in requests for snacks, but it's like, putting in a ticket with your IT department, or just like, hey, Dad, can we get like, insert name of chip here? He's like, processing next time. And then you come back next time. I forgot to do it. Well, fuck.
I write instructions like that to people. Well, hey, don't put me on blast, Victoria. That's rude. Okay, don't do that. That's
Now,
cool
later
ranch
in
can
my
go there.
latchkey kiddom, so this is
Yeah.
before, this is like mid puberty, like 13 or so,
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Um, my, were you ever entrusted to get dinner started? Hey, can you take the thing out of the freezer? Hey, can you start doing this with this sort
No.
of thing?
No.
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 Okay. My
Never.
mom, by the time I hit like late middle school, early high school, was starting to do that. We had a grill out back.
Yeah.
So she was like, hey, take the chicken out of the freezer, start grilling. And then she would come home and it would be mostly done. And then she would do the last like bit of prep.
No, we were not trusted with that much. Like so, and like I had a great time where so when I was around like 9 or 10, my older sister graduated from high school. My oldest brother had just got married, so his wife and my sister kind of replaced my mom at the business as office workers and or the administrators for the business. And hilariously, like my mom had a grade 6 education in the mountains of Greece. Everything else she learned herself. Which like English, math, accounting, she learned that all by herself. So the funny thing is now you have two grown ass women, and they couldn't keep up to what my mom would do, and they were working full time. And it was like my mom's like, disappointing. So like the best part was like I was, because all of my siblings, like my older siblings, though of the three one, because I have a brother who's 12 years older, a brother that's 10 years older, and a sister who's 8 years older. So they had I don't want to say a rough time of it, but they had different responsibilities. So like my two oldest brothers, after school, they would have to take their bicycles and bike to my dad's shop to help clean up and do stuff like that. Right. Okay. So as we were growing up, we weren't entrusted with doing machine work, but we were there to clean up the machines. Right. So all the workers didn't have to do that, because that's a machine job. Normally, the last 20 minutes of your workday is you cleaning your machine and oiling your machine to make sure it's prepped for the next day. And my dad's like, no. I pay you, you work, my kids will do the cleaning. And that's how it worked. Throw it back for Papa. Why don't you? I don't know what that means, Hannah. Calm down. Victoria says, it's not you, it's for other people. I don't believe her. I think she tries to make instructions like that for me, but that's,
I mean, like,
tricks her.
There's, yeah, you can go a little bit too far where you're like over explaining, and then it's like, okay, we got it. But when you're 8 and you like, it's hard to communicate when you're 8. You don't have words for things.
True.
So it's an important skill to teach like an 8-year-old. I think it's good. My go-to Latchkey Kid snack was a freezer waffle PB&J sandwich and a glass of milk. Alternatively, a 7-Eleven hot dog and a strawberry cream Shack soda if I was walking from home.
That's a thing? There's Shack soda? Like Shaquille O'Neal made a soda? Or
might have been before my time. Or I kind of was like, I wasn't really allowed to go to 7-Eleven. I didn't go with my parents or anything. If I went to 7-Eleven, I was with friends, and I was just sort of like in awe of the 7-Eleven at all. And I was like more focused on like, what is this mythical blue drink that turns your mouth blue? Like I was so focused on the Slurpee part of it all that I wasn't paying attention to the soda.
We are discussing Latchkey Kid snacks. That's the topic. Also, I'm calling you Othello King Lear, sir. I'm not going to call you another name. Hello, ladies, and hello to you, madam. So
what a waste of a
you know what? Waffles, freezer waffles.
Yeah.
Top tier snack. Tier snack.
Good name. Good waffle.
I think it was after your time. It was short-lived. Only thing when I was in junior high. That's fair. See, that's the thing is we didn't get like that's the only other thing in Canada is we don't get a lot of the crazy snacks. Like we get the normal like we didn't have crazy cereals. We had some of them. Like we would get Lucky Charms, but not Lucky Charms where it's all marshmallows. You're like, that's not, you can't feed that to Canadian kids. They're like, nah, that's bad for you, right?
Yeah, we never got that. I remember having Oops All Crunch Berries one time with again at a friend's house, right? All of my experience with like the snacks that would make my mother go white were or whiter than Charity is. We're at friends' houses. Like we didn't even keep whole milk. We had, like the fattiest was 2%. Like
yeah,
use that in her coffee, and it's like, guys, come on. Like even as an adult, like my adult rebellion was just like eating shittily for a time because I was like, I just didn't have it.
Hold on one second. So, Mr. Gobble Gobble, can you say something nice to cheer me up? Hey, today you're going to have a great day. Whether you like it or not, your destiny has already been decided. So enjoy it because you have no choice. There you go.
Very Red Foreman way to cheer someone up.
Yes. That's I like negative reinforcement. So it's like people are like, that's why I'm like, everything's already been decided. You just have to exist and don't be a piece of shit. That's all. That's all you're only responsible for. And even then, some people's opinions just don't matter. Don't worry about it.
If you mix sugary, sorry, Victoria, we had small packets of crisps and sausage rolls for snacks. I know.
Have you been to the UK, Atlas? Have you been yet?
Not as an adult. When we went, I was like 3 years old. Doesn't count.
I will highly recommend this to anybody who goes to the UK. Is there are sausage rolls, and then there's a Greg's sausage roll, and I'll tell you, Greg's, has perfected the sausage roll. You can have, there are other sausage rolls which taste great and everything, but Greg's sausage rolls are the perfect snack on the go. It is flaky, but not so flaky that you have to do the fat guy, oh God, I'm covered in flake kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect snack. So yeah, I'm
noted.
Yeah. If you mix sugary cereal with bagged milk, it curdles immediately.
I know he meant curdles, but it said cuddles immediately, which is like, that's kind of sweet.
Listen, bagged milk, because you guys have carton milk or in like a jug, right? We have bagged milk, and there is nothing more funny than watching an American deal with bagged milk for the first time, because it is a very normal and convenient thing. It is. I've watched a YouTube video of somebody's like, how do you even work this? Because essentially it's a sack and it comes with a holder. Okay. Yeah. You put the sack in, you hit it on your knee so it goes all the way down, and then you cut both corners, not one corner, you monsters. If you cut both corners, what happens is you have a perfect flow of air and no suction. It is perfect. If you cut one corner, you're basically a serial killer in the making. That's factual.
Yeah. Aw, I like how Nuke is like, I think you have a good username and profile pic combo, Mr. Dobble Dobble. Oh,
100%. I mean, technically it's a rooster, so it's not a gobble gobble, but I don't think you can put Mr. Kiki. That's
not non-fat milk is cheaper to make because the fat is used to make butter, and they charge more for non-fat milk. That's fine, and like you're right. It wasn't like my mom being like, "Oh, we're so poor, we can't afford it." Literally, it was just like, ew, fat, because...
Yeah. Listen, also, too, just a public PSA for everybody, is that skim milk is not milk. It's water pretending to be milk. How dare you? That's courtesy of Ron Swanson.
Yeah,
but also...
non-fat milk is garbage.
My sister-in-law, she, in August, forgot milk in her trunk. Okay? She forgot a bag of milk. Hey, 2 days later, came back, and it looked totally fine. And she was like, I'm not buying skim milk anymore. It's not. Yeah. 2 days in a trunk in August, which listen, it's Canada. So it's still like, it's only like 30 degrees, 32 degrees. It's not something crazy, but at the same time, that is not. Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. Autocorrect wanted to be cute. I mean, autocorrect, it's trying.
I grew up with milkmen delivering milk. I mean, I really think that if they... like, part of the reason that we switched away from milkmen was like
they kept on banging people's wives.
No, because like plastic, and because one, plastic was the new hotness, right? But also because like it's less like milkmen had unions, and it was like a union busting.
Yeah, which is, and you know what? Glass is the superior form of transportation for fluids. Plastic has ruined everything.
Yes, and I really think that if we're gonna like sustain as a planet, we might have to go back to glass, and we might have to go back to milkmen, or if not milkmen, some sort of like at your grocery store, here's my glass bottle, please fill it with
You want to hear something really crazy? Is on the side of our house. So we have a front door and a side door. The side door on every house on the street has a sealed off little box. It was for milkmen, because like the houses on the street are like probably from the 50s. Yeah. So they all have it and they're all sealed up. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah. Refrigeration is like very new. Like having a fridge in your house was like the 40s, maybe. Yeah. And
even then, not everybody. And that was also very North American. Like my dad grew up with they would cook meat and they would have like so in the shade underneath the house, kind of like in the quasi crawl space basement, is where meat that was already cooked would be double netted to make sure no bugs got into it and stuff like that. And you're like, that was how they stored it because it was nice and cool down there. Yeah. So like, and that was in the 40s and the 50s. Like, I will drink 2%. I don't really drink, but we have 2% here, but I don't. I used to drink milk from the bag, and my mom would get mad at me because I would just grab it and I would drink the entire bag. It's a quart. It's a quart of milk, and I would open it and just glug, 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 and she's like, what is wrong with you? And my parents loved me, which is a unique thing for this day and age, but so they would never be like, hey, you're fat, don't drink. Yeah, they would never look at me and be like, you're too fat to be eating that much milk. And I'd be like, oh, it's delicious. Yeah. And they're like, all right, well.
You know what? I got to give you props because my mom, like that sentence came up a lot, right? You're too fat to be doing blank thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that really was never. For a child. So I have opposing opinions. Is number one, I was loved enough to never be called fat, even though I was fat. But number two, if somebody be like, hey, man, life is going to be different if you don't lose your weight. Like, you got to figure that out. Like, if somebody didn't approach me with love to figure that out, unless like I figured it out when I was 40 years old, and now I'm an acceptable amount of fat, which is nice, but so I actually get like every once in a blue moon I steal cereal from Victoria, but what I will do is I use whipping cream for my coffee, which I'll tell you,
it's not bad.
Cream is delicious. So
that is. Yeah.
That sounded perverted. You know what I mean? We would get milk from cows. I've never had milk directly from cows, but I've heard great things. Excellent video. Thanks. Handsome guy. I mean, that goes out to both of us. And thank you.
Thank you. Just step a bunch. It's fine.
Jesus Christ. Degenerative AI. Calm down, bro. No, it's Sunday and there's no it's not necessary. It's like a live debate between two homos. Hey, Captain Crunch, why are you out there watching homosexuals debate? What's up with that? That's weird.
No, it's not. It's just
they are handsome. You're absolutely right. Thank you.
Asian parents don't have filters. For the first part of my life, my dad kept jokingly saying I had a fat bum, because British, of course. And I thought I had one until I grew up and realized I had no bum.
She has no bum. That's not. She has nothing. And also too, Victoria has like fantastic legs, like unbelievably fantastic legs. And she's like, yeah, my dad always had a bum. I'm like, you have no bum. Like, I'm turning 45 soon, and I'm just developing a buttocks. Like I had no bum because I was just fat, and now I'm like, I finally like I could do this. I'm just sitting here because my butt muscles are now working. It's great, but whipping cream for lube? No, for my coffee. What kind of person thinks that?
There's a YouTube channel I like called Characters Welcome, and they have one where it's like Morpheus forgot the red pill, blue pill. So he's like, shit, fuck. And then he like runs off and comes back. He's got 2 things of milk. And he's like, you can do the whole milk and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Or you can do the 2%, which you could go back to sleep. And then he like pauses and then he goes, well, one's for cereal, one's for coffee. Like, it's great.
I do love there's a Seinfeld meme about like if the Matrix happened in the Seinfeld universe, and it's George going 2 pills, no water. Yeah. Like, nothing. He's like, not even a zip, not even a little nothing. 2 pills, no water. And you're like, man, that is peak Costanza. Like that's
definitely. Yeah, cereal is a great one. I was not really a milk drinker for all of my childhood. Like, if I just drank straight milk, it would make me gag. Like, I can have milk in stuff, in
Yeah.
coffee and cereal or whatever, but just like a glass of milk felt weird to me. And then I didn't really discover chocolate milk until high school, which chocolate milk's pretty cracker.
So I would get in trouble regularly for adding. So I would slowly convince my parents to start buying liquid Nesquik instead of the powder form, because the powder form, number one, very cheap, but also
clumps, right?
Well, yeah, you get clumps and everything. It's not a cohesive. If you really want to make good chocolate milk with powder, you got to heat up the milk and it'll dissolve. Probably it's way too much work for a child. So I finally would convince them to get the liquid form, and then I would. So this is the problem. And they're like, "Oh, you only put one spoonful." So I put one spoonful, and I'm like, "It's barely chocolate. Like, it would taste chocolatey, but it didn't look chocolatey." I'm like, "No, it's got to look like it does in the carton. That's how it works." Okay.
It's like the LaCroix of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Right.
And the funny thing is that I would then add too much. So it was like super chocolatey. And a couple times, I think the only time where my mom stepped in was like, "No, you're not eating that." She took it from me, dumped it out, and she's like, "Now you get none." And I was like, she's like, "No, you overdid it. Now you get 0." And I was like, hmm. And even like she poured it out and you could still see like there was a shit ton of chocolate syrup at the bottom. She's like, "No, I'm washing it. You get nothing. You can have water." And I'm like, fish fucking it. I don't want that. So
I just watched Casablanca.
You guys are so cute together. You're welcome. Thank you, Captain Crunch. I appreciate you. Feel free to like and subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of any other like top tier
Latchkey kid meal.
Yeah, like PB&J sandwich, like, and I would always get in trouble for that because I would like, okay, I don't know how I think the word pedantic would be you guys are, but like I use 2 knives or a spoon and a knife if I'm making a PB&J sandwich. I'm not making one and then the other. I'm like, no, you can't contaminate your peanut butter and jelly. They get 2 knives and separate. And I would get in trouble because mom was like, "Why did you use so many utensils?" I'm like, "It was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." She's like, "Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you just clean off the one?" And I'm like, "I'm not cleaning. Like, what are you talking about? It's crazy." But yeah, I was always also okay. As a kid, if you made yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, would you cut the crusts off? I had never even heard of that until I saw it on TV, and I'm like, "Why would you cut the crust off? That's what keeps all the stuff in there."
I like bread, so like the crusty part of the bread was fine to me. Now that's not to say nobody likes the heel piece on the loaf, the butt piece, whatever you want to call it, like the thing on the end, right?
Yeah.
That always sucked, but like just having it, on the piece of whole wheat bread, because of course we had whole wheat bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at like listicles of Latchkey kid foods. We've covered most of these. Capri Sun, like, was that a thing?
We would have juice boxes, not a Capri Sun.
Okay, yeah.
I think there was a few times where my mom bought Sunny D, which is basically sugar water.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is not good. Like, we weren't really because like the thing is, when I was growing up at like peak snacking age, my parents were also already in like their mid 40s, right? So it was kind of like they were starting to be healthy, so we would have cranberry juice and stuff like instead of just OJ, which it's weird. Like
cranberry juice for everybody who gets a UTI, which is when you're in your 40s constantly.
Well, and not even that. If you want good kidneys, have some cranberry juice every once in a while. Even the one that has sugar in it is so much better for you. I remember there was a relative of ours who was having a lot of pain in his kidneys, and they were like, he's having a lot of problems. My mom's like, cranberry juice, and they were like, what? Cranberry juice. And they were like, yo, in 3 days, he stopped having pain. And like after a couple weeks of just having 1 glass a day, and they were like, oh, it's really bitter. They're like, yeah, you can add sugar to it. It's fine. It's not like it's really good for it cleans out everything. But special kids are the crust cutter off. Really? Is that like I don't know. So like I saw it. I'll tell you this. The first time I heard the concept of cutting the crust off was watching, this is gonna age me, Night Court, when the hot lawyer made a sandwich for the judge and cut the crust off, and he was like, did you cut my crust off? She's like, I have baby brain and they all have no crust. And I was like, why would you cut the, and it was just so like baffling to me, because also too, in a Greek household, if you had like crusty bread in a meal, you would take the really crusty parts and you would use that in the Greek salad to sop up the oil and vinegar and a little bit of cheese too, and eat it. And you're like, that's the best part of the salad, totally. Right? So
there was like that weird hit piece a couple weeks ago where they're like, Zoran Mandani eats with his hands. I'm like, he's eating Indian food. That's the point. You take the naan bread and eat the thing with it. That's how they determine who writes the script. Jesus, Jim.
I mean, that's fair. I get it. Marvin, I mean, why not both? Why, Marvin, that's a weird question. And also, why do you have to have a stranglehold on your enjoyment? That's weird. You should talk to somebody about that. The name's Mamdani. Who cares?
Mamdani, yeah.
Neither of us live in New York. What is that? And also that place is gonna burn soon. We use the crust to dip into softball. Oh, also too, like also, go, yeah. I didn't see this until like this is the thing is as I've gotten older and we've learned more things and like you get more access to like fancier things and you know like. But I remember in which movie, Limitless, where he's like, have a toast point. And I was like, that's just cut a piece of bread, you jackass. Like, it's just, and it's like, but also too.
Limitless, the show or the movie?
The movie.
Okay.
But you also, there's nothing fancier than when you have a little toast, like a little triangle of toast, and you dip it into your soft boiled egg. You're like, I am basically royalty. Like there's not, you know, but that's, it was,
I love it. It's pretty great. My mom taught us to like make scrambled eggs from a young age. And then we surpassed her because she sucks at it. Well, because she keeps them in the pan until they turn gray and like hard. And it's like, dude, come on. Like we're better than this.
The funny thing is, so after, I got married at the age of 21. I moved out. We had bought a condo, so I was living with my ex-wife. Then I had hurt my back. I had 6 herniated discs. So we moved back into my parents moved, and then we built the basement apartment. So we moved in with them just to help ends meet and everything. And after that, after my back healed and everything, we divorced. She left. I was still at my parents' house. And then I started asking my mom questions, right? So I'd be like, hey, can you show me how to cook that? And my mom just looks at me and she's like, I'm your mother. Just tell me what you want and I'll make it for you. Also, too, because I was the baby of the family, like in high school, I would come home and I would be like, oh, what's for dinner? And she would say something and I'd be like, oh, okay. And she's like, do you want me to make you something else? And I'm like it very much, I don't want to say was the source of my fatness, but also like it did not help that I was eating like double dinners on a daily basis. It's not good. Because you would say, oh, if you already ate, you're probably not going to eat much. No, I would eat a full second meal for dinner with everybody else because I was a fat guy. But ultimately, like that, she would like give me these looks and be like, just tell me what you want and I'll make it for you. I'm like, no, I need to learn. I'm a grown ass fucking man. You need to show me how to make this. And she would get like so angry about it, even to the point where I'm like, hey, can you show me how to use the washer and dryer? I just want to make sure I'm not screwing it up because I'm like, I know, but I want to make sure because everyone's different, you know. My mom's like, just give me your clothes and I'll wash them. I'm like, no, I need to know. And it was such a weird thing where like we were encouraged to be independent of thought and of mind, but not of actions in my mom's territory, which was like
skills.
It was like, you should learn how to draw, you should learn how to read schematics, you should learn how to do like to hammer, to act, like it was all things outside of the house, but the inside of the house was my mom's domain. And she was like, I remember once I made beer and cheddar dip, and it was actually really delicious. But my mom was like, the whole time she was agitated that I was doing this while she was making dinner, and I'm like, I'm just putting beer and cheese together. It's not a big deal. And she was like, fine, make your dip. Let everyone can eat your dip for dinner. And I'm just like, hey, just calm down. You don't need to be freaking out about that. Yeah, kids.
Well, because like that was her domain, and she didn't want.
Yeah, it was her. That was her kingdom. Kids who dip stuff in eggs were the
Jim.
That's so mean.
I fucking can't with you at this point.
I mean, also, Jim, though, have you ever dipped stuff in eggs? It's fantastic. Okay, like it's statistics have it. Hello, guys.
But yeah, there were like a few times where I would like make eggs coming home from school, and then my mom was like, "I need eggs for other things. No more after school eggs unless you like tell me." Because like there were a couple times where she like needed them for a recipe, and I used the last two or something.
I mean, I get it, but also eggs are a fantastic
of course
snack for anyone old, young. Like I eat a ton of eggs on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, because he's gassed on.
Basically. I'll be honest with you. I am researching that whole guy who ate 720 eggs over the course of a month, and they're like his cholesterol actually dropped. I'm like, hey, I could eat, because he ate 24 eggs a day for a month, and I'm like, I could eat 24 eggs, no problem.
I don't think I can. When I go to like regionals for like the card game, I'll make a bunch of hard boiled eggs. The night before, because it's easier to go, because they do not give you time to eat. They're like, you eat when like between rounds, like when you finish and before the next round is called, and there's no food on site, so it's easier to just be like, open bag, eat hard-boiled egg in 30 seconds, close bag, done. Like
also too is if you eat boiled eggs in that environment, you have a close quarter defense to distract your opponent, because you just burp and just breathe into their face, and they're like, there's eggs, and you're like
farting, or you're farting up a storm the entire
like time. Not only were they eggs, they were boiled yesterday, so they're completely green, and you're like, when they're like, it's in my nose. That's fair. That's
no, my friends make fun of me for it, but I stand by it. So
it's good. It's a very eggs are literally the building blocks of life. So
good point.
And also too, never feel guilty, because it's not your fault that babies are the most delicious of every animal. Okay, we have veal, we have lamb, we have eggs, babies. Done.
Ova.
It's just science. It's not my fault.
So we hope you enjoyed. Oh, Katie had a message for the show, which was
shut up, stop talking. You are too loud.
No. She goes, tell them you spread things like a bitch. What she means by that is like cream cheese on a bagel or something. Like I don't do enough.
I would be enraged with that. So whenever someone has like taken one spool, see, Sasha, absolutely, they're a great source of everything. That's why the rich elite are always eating babies. 100%. They're the best. That's how they give you all the good stuff.
Jim is like plugged into the Denver airport or something. He's going like full.
Hey, I want pictures, Jim. Send them to me. Hook me up. So that's one thing where, like as an example, in when we first started dating, I came over for dinner, and Victoria's like, "Did you want something to drink?" I'm like, "I'd love a glass of water." And she comes over with a half-filled mug of water, and I'm like, "Great, could I have a glass of water?" I just handed it back. I'm like, "I would like a glass of water. This is not what I asked for." And it was in front of everybody. I'm like, no, that's not. So now, like, we have like 3 glasses that are just for me, because I'm the one who uses them. It's not. And I'm just like, yeah. Every there she had like they're even still right now in the kitchen. There's like 60 mugs, 3 glasses, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I don't understand. But
there's like the de facto like this one is mine thing.
Oh yeah,
it's like this is my coffee mug, even though it doesn't have my name on it, or like. I don't know, when like working at a school, this is my parking space now.
Definitely.
Like, there's no name, but it's just like this is the one I always
park. This is where I park.
Yeah.
That's also so if somebody if somebody made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you couldn't see the peanut butter and jelly from outside of the sandwich, I'd be like, "Where's
Right.
the peanut butter and jelly?" And they're like, "It's in there." And you're like, "Can I have more?
Yeah.
Why are you like?"
Uncrustables? Get your head in the game, man. Like,
Yeah, like it would always baffle me because I'm like I said, if I made a PB&J sandwich, just by flipping it over, you would have peanut butter and jelly would be squirting out the sides 100%. If I'm off to walk the dogs, have a great day. You too, Sasha. Have a great day.
Hi, Sasha. Yeah. So I guess what was your go-to Latchkey Kid meal, Latchkey Kid snack before parents were home, and after you got home? What sort of wacky concoctions did you make? Leave them in the comments below.
Absolutely.
If you like the show, I'm slowly dying. If you like the show, leave a like, leave a comment, share. You can follow us at Generation Dan on Insta, or where all the social medias are found. You can also follow me at Atlas Novak, wherever fine social medias are found, except for Twitter. I nuked that shit from orbit. But TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Or if you want to check out my other show, Nexus at Night, which is about the trading card game Card Fight Vanguard. If that is not your bag, I completely understand. But we stream every Friday, most Fridays, at 7 p.m. Pacific time. How about you, good sir?
Well, number one, I have to address this. Dino is a chunky boy. I am not a chunky boy. I'm a thunky boy. I am not the jiggly kind of fat. I am a substantial amount of like kind of girth.
Okay, so like you're walking down the hall, and then it's like that scene in Jurassic Park with the water.
Correct. I explain it this way: is that if you eat garbage and get fat, you're a jiggly, loosey goosey fat. We've all seen it. It's also traditionally those are the men with large breasts. That's the loosey goosey fat. I became fat on just being basically a monster, and would eat like steak and truffle and horrible things, like just too much of everything. So, but I would also eat like an entire carcass of an animal. So when I
leave your hopes behind,
exactly when
you're a monster.
When I jump, I don't jiggle, I thunk. I just and people are like, ugh! You're like, it's devastating. So yeah, I am right here, Dino. Oh no, right here, there, Dino the Genetic Marvel. So you can follow me everywhere. And also, I guess so. The next couple of weeks we're going to be figuring out what's happening because I'm going to be abroad, but we're hoping to still get things done. We may be changing the time, everyone. So we will be in touch.
Either that, or we might go on a 2-week hiatus.
Maybe
we might have a guest host. Keep an eye out on our social media.
Yeah, I am going to be testing things out as the week goes, but I am going to be abroad. So if you follow my social media, which is right here, Dino the Genetic Marvel, it's right there. You're going to see some pretty neato stuff. So right now I'm basically clearing up space on all of my devices so that I can go and take pictures and share them with everybody. So it's called Zombies, sir. I mean, sure, why not? But yeah, so follow us everywhere, everyone, and we will be back possibly a Sunday, possibly in a couple of weeks. Who knows? Keep an eye out because let's be honest, we're fantastic. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.